Good afternoon. We'll call the meeting to order. And welcome to a full gallery of folks. It's nice to see members of the public here and great to see all of the staff here too. We respectfully acknowledge that the County of Haliburton is located on Treaty 20 Mishi-Saugig territory and in the traditional territory of the Mishi-Saugig and Chippewa Nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaties First Nations. We acknowledge a shared presence of Indigenous nations throughout the area and recognize its original inhabitants as the stewards of its lands and waters since time immemorial. Before I turn the meeting over to our CAO, I just wanted to make a couple of very quick comments to say how proud that I have been to have held the position of warden for as long as I have. During our tenure, we've worked our way successfully through several really challenging pieces of legislation, and we've made some numerous and some really good improvements and decisions during our time. I'd like to offer my sincere thanks to our CAO, Gary, and to all of our senior management team and all the staff. You all do a terrific job, and it's been a joy to work with you as the warden. My thanks as well to every member of council here for your ongoing support, and I look forward to continuing to work with you from a different spot in the table. So with that, I will turn the meeting over to the CAO.
Thank you, Warden Danielson. And before I get into the forum part of today, I'd just like to, on behalf of myself and senior staff and staff, express our gratitude to you, Warden Danielson, for the continued support you've shown staff over the time, and particularly for myself, the support and guidance you give me over my first year here. It made the transition a lot easier. So thank you very much for that. So first off, I'm going to run through a bit of the procedures for this afternoon. Is for the election of the warden for 2025 for the county of Haliburton. We'll hear speeches or commentary from the nominators of the two candidates today, as well as the candidates themselves, which will be followed by the vote. The vote will be, and the count will be conducted by myself and Treasurer Ms. Robinson, and we'll report the results coming forward, and the vote will be done in the anteroom off to the side. As we mentioned previously, we have two candidates for warden today. We have Councillors Burton and Carter, that their names put forward, nominated for the position of warden. And at this time, I'll give an opportunity for the nominators for Councillor Burton, Warden Danielson, and Councillor Fury to say a few words if they choose.
I'm pleased to nominate Dave Burton to the position of warden for 2025 for a variety of reasons. I've known Dave for more than 16 years. It's starting when I was a municipal affairs reporter for the County Voice, and I've worked with him on county council since 2010. And while there have certainly been times when we saw things through a different lens, when I asked how I would describe Dave, it would be as a man who loves his family dearly, represents his community to the level best of his ability, and is a man who would always respond to a call for help from a friend at a moment's notice. Dave has served the county in a number of ways. He was elected and served as mayor of Highlands East for the past 20 years, and as such, as a member of county council. During that time, he served as warden for the county several times. He was also appointed to the Eastern Ontario Regional Network Board and ultimately was elected to the position of chair of EORN, a position that he held for several years. He was also elected to and served on the board of the Ontario Good Roads Association and ultimately held the position as their president for a number of years as well. Dave has always worked closely with me as a member of county council and remained in constant contact during the time that I have served as warden. Likely more than any other member of this council, with the exception of our past mayor, Carol Moffat, and my present deputy mayor, Jen Dayu, for obvious reasons given their roles on Algonquin Highlands Council. As he has done in the past with me, I truly believe that Dave will listen to all of our concerns equally, and when representing Haliburton County to the outside world, particularly on the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus, I fully trust that he will always represent the county fairly. He will advocate on our behalf and can be relied upon to always put forward the position that this council has agreed upon during our discussions and democratic decision-making process. For these reasons and more, I hereby formally nominate Councillor Burton to hold the position of warden for the upcoming year.
Thank you, Warden Danielson. Councillor Fury?
If you don't mind, I'm not going all the way over there. I'd like to say I've known Dave since 1995, I guess, the first time I laid eyes on him. And he just came here from Oromadani, where he had spent 6 years on council down there. So he came with some experience. And he wasn't long here before he carried that weight on his shoulders. And Councillor Danielson has mentioned about the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus. Well, Dave served on that as chair for 8 years. And the thing that was great about it was that he led the delegations to the federal cabinet and to the Ontario cabinet to ask for funding. And I think his quiet demeanor and the fact that he was so sincere about it, along with the rest of the caucus, led that funding to come through, which was really great for all of us, even though we're not happy with some of the service today. But they're trying. The other thing that he did that no member of county council has ever done here was get elected to Ontario Good Roads. And he was only there a year or two and he became chairman there. And I understand that they do miss him from what I hear from, I know he's big and you miss you when you're big, but Dave has the ability to make a kind of a character of himself, because he doesn't say something if he hasn't got something to say. He's very sincere. And sometimes I know some of the callers said he doesn't say very much. Well, look, if you don't have something that's meaningful to say and you mean it, why would you say it? Just to hear yourself talk. And I've been part of councils here that wasn't the format. They do talk quite a bit sometimes. But anyway, it's all about the process, and I'm confident that the way I've got to know Dave, as a neighbor in the neighboring municipality, we work together. He's a man of honor, and I think he'll once again serve as fine as the warden. And I'm pleased and honored to nominate second.
Sorry. And on behalf of Councillor Carter, on behalf of Councillor Carter, Councillor Shell. Yeah, you can from there as well.
Here. So first of all, I just want to say that I've been here for 6 years, and every year that we do this, I think, why do we use this process when there's 4 lower tiers municipalities being represented at the county? I really think everybody should take a shot at this, but that's just my opinion, and I know that's not going to get changed today. Anyway, I'm pleased to nominate Bob Carter for warden. I've worked with Bob for 6 years on Minden Hills Council, 2 years here. In that time, Bob's proven to be a dedicated in his role and to our community. Bob also belongs to many exterior boards and agencies with a keen interest in social welfare and housing. Bob is very knowledgeable when it comes to the budget, which I appreciate because everybody knows that is not my strong suit. And but he understands not only the complexities of the budget, but is also able to, and I've seen in the past, make really wise and economic suggestions to council that very often we have taken. Outside of his role on council, again, I've only known Bob for 6 years, but he's genuinely a really nice guy, and I've enjoyed getting to know him and work with him over the past 6 years, and happy to put his name forward for warden.
Thank you. Councillor Dayu.
Thank you. I'm pleased to support Councillor Carter's candidacy for warden for 2025. Bob excels at visualizing the connective tissue between topics that are typically assigned to distinct mental boxes, and he regularly does so on the fly. He does his homework, he shows up prepared, and he's not afraid to say things he knows won't be popular. I have a great deal of respect for that. It compels us to recognize the complexity that is inherent in every matter that lands on our table, and it shields us from complacency. Discomfort is an indicator of a healthy democratic process. Bob values environmental protection and knows that keeping tax rates low, which is a priority for us all, cannot come at that expense. He understands that policy change affects the members of our community in different ways. He gets that, and I'm quoting Bob here, A 1% tax increase feels different to someone who must decide between putting food on the table or paying the heat bill than it does to someone deciding which restaurant to go to. Do we see eye to eye on everything? No. I will fight him tooth and nail over the library, for example. But here's my number one thing. He has fire in his heart and urgency in his mind. As warden, Bob would not permit our engines to idle for a minute of the time we have the privilege of sitting in these chairs.
Thank you. And now at this point, we'll call upon the candidates for brief comments. Councillor Burton.
Thank you, Gary. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for being here today. And thank you to nominator and to my seconder. Thank you very much. I honor our county's unwavering spirit, commitment, aspirations, and enthusiasm. I see the results of our early mornings and our late nights and our sacrifices to prevail on the issues that we have overcome. As warden, I will focus on these challenges and help solve a lot of our situations. My commitment will be to create a more efficient county, and with the support, I know this goal will be possible. I was reading in the Census Canada report, and it struck by a thought that Haliburton County's permanent and seasonal population will continue to grow over the next decade, creating development pressures. We must consider enhancing community services and regulations while maintaining our identity. And one way to do this might be to align some of our bylaws and our building codes from the lower tier. Moving forward, I'll focus on creating a holistic solutions to address multiple aspects of our rural life. Sustainable development, providing affordable housing with environmental protection, investment in education, skills training, and will offer vocational courses and higher education opportunities, enabling the residents to serve with higher paying jobs. Lobbying for additional funds at the county will be utmost for me. In conclusion, being warden of Haliburton County has many challenges, and I'm happy to have the opportunity to serve and help our community. It is important to make the foundation of our county as solid as the Canadian shield that we sit on. Haliburton Highlands is a great community, and I will work very, very hard to do that. I'm looking forward to moving the county forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Burton. Councillor Carter.
So first of all, thank you to Councillor Schell, Councillor Dayu for nominating me. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. And also thanks to Warden Danielson for the dedication and the service over the last number of years and leading us as warden, which is was not always an easy task. Change. You know, the world obviously is changing. It always changes, but I'm not sure it's really been changing at the rate and in the directions that it is changing today. We have here see it in a number of different ways, and particularly the pressure on with the growth. Our population has grown significantly over the last 5 or 6 years, but our services have not been able to keep up. One of the reasons the services can't keep up is because we have no people to provide those services. That situation is exacerbated by the fact that we have not enough housing for those people. So it's hard to hire somebody if they come here and they can't find a place to live. What I'm trying to get at is all of the things that are linked together. If we look at their situation with medical facilities and doctors, You know, we now have less than half of the people here in Haliburton County that have a local doctor. And some of the doctors that are here now will be retiring soon. When we arrived here, there were 14 doctors, there are now 8. And that's going down. You know, I use doctors because I happen to know one quite well. But you know, the same thing happens with nurses and PSWs and so on. If we look at all of our services across the whole organization and the whole county, we have a shortage of people. The situation with change is it's going to happen whether we like it or not. So it can either happen to us or we can work with it to try to steer it in a way that that makes it more acceptable to us. So with that, you know, I think the things like the Wardens Caucus and other groups have to work better at going to the government, provincial and federal government, who are responsible for what I call phantom downloads. You have a situation where, you know, a small change is made at the provincial government that says, health unit, you now have to do this. And they may give them a little bit of money, but not enough money. Health unit does their budget, and all of a sudden they need more money. Who do they come to? Us. We have the same thing where we have in our social services and childcare, where we have, and for housing, where we have wait lists that are years long. And the funding just isn't there, and it comes back to us. The province makes little changes, and then we are the ones who have to pick up the slack and come up with the extra funds. We're already too highly taxed here. We have lots of people who have difficulty in, as Councillor Dayu mentioned, I talk about, you know, the choices between buying your medicine, putting gas in your car, putting food on the table, paying the rent. Those are all things that people have to make a choice on. And paying taxes, unfortunately, is one they don't have an option on because we force them into it. So we have to find a different way of getting funding from the provincial government, whether that be on things such as GST or on transfers and so on. And we have to work at the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus and any other group we can to try to get this done. We're too small a county to be able to really make a difference at the provincial level. We're not going to be able to do things as just Haliburton, but we can, as Haliburton, have the voice in those committees to try to get those changes to help us out. Anyway, long story short, that's the area that I'm most interested in to try to help us with the infrastructure gap, with these phantom downloads, with all of the things that we have to do to try to maintain a healthy lifestyle here in Haliburton County. And as warden, that's what I would focus on. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Carter. And now we'll begin the process for the balloting for the position of warden. We'll start on this side. We'll set with Councillor Danielson, Dayu, and Rael. You can head towards the anteroom, and there'll be a ballot there waiting for you. Start to count. Treasurer Robinson and myself. Any scrutineers on behalf of the candidates would join us in the anteroom. After counting the ballots, it is my pleasure to announce that Councillor Burton has been elected the warden for Haliburton County for the year 2025. And with that, I need a mover and a seconder, please, to confirm the election of Councillor Burton as warden. and to destroy the ballots. Councillor Dayu, seconded by Councillor McKechnie. All those in favor? Carried. So at this time, I'd call upon Councillor Danielson. It's going to take a while to dig into that. Councillor Danielson come up and with the investor of the robe and chains of office to Warden Burton. Now the chains of office.
Congratulations, sir.
Now, we'll now administer the oath of office. So Councillor Burton, can you please read the following, please?
I, Dave Burton, having been elected the office of Warden of the County of Corporation of the County of Haliburton, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict Act. Excuse me. I'll be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty, King Charles III, and I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously, believing it to be true, and knowing that it's the same force and effect as if done under oath.
We just have 2 orders of business left. Warden Burton would be the confirmatory bylaw. Need to move over to seconder for the confirmatory bylaw.
Could I, Councillor Danielson and Councillor Shell.
The bylaw 4277 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of December 10th, 2024 special meeting of Haliburton County Council be considered to be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed, and the seal of the corporation affixed.
All in favor? It's carried. Thank you.
And lastly, a motion to adjourn.
One move. Councillor McKechnie, second by Councillor Ferry.
That the December 10th, 2024 special meeting Haliburton County Council being adjourned at 4:30 p.m.
All in favor? It's carried. Thank you.